Hello, Elly here from Thankful Flow Yoga. Welcome to another one of my YouTube flows. Thank you for being here with me. I'm sure I already said that, but it's so nice to think that I've got people practicing with me from home. So yes, today we're doing a gentle twist flow. So this is suitable for all levels. There'll be different options throughout, and I'll be talking through the different postures with you. So as I might have mentioned in other videos, twists are really detoxifying for the body and kind of flush through those internal organs. So it can be good if you're just feeling like you need, a little bit of a detox, but also can feel really relaxing and releasing. So we'll get started in a comfortable seated position on the mat. So we'll ground into the class first of all. So find your comfortable seat, and as always, take any props or blocks that you need, because we want to come into this neutral spine alignment. So finding a neutral spine means we also need to find a neutral pelvis. And what I mean by this is sometimes if you're finding that you're really tipping back or tipping forwards, you could have a pelvic tilt, which is very common. So if you're tipping forwards, just bring some engagement through the core to become neutral. If you're tipping back, try a block or a prop under your hips. So start to close off the eyes when you're ready, or take a steady gaze somewhere out in front of you. And I invite you to bring one hand to your chest and one hand to the belly. And begin to notice your breath. Maybe you notice your chest rise and fall with the in-breath and the out-breath. Perhaps take a moment to give yourself permission to let go of anything that you were doing before this, anything that you need to do after this, and allow yourself to be in this present moment right here, right now. Sometimes the thinking mind wants to take us to the past or what we are projecting as the future. Being aware of this, observing any of those kinds of thoughts can really bring us back to being present. Allow your shoulder blades run down your back. Take your last deep inhale and exhale in this position. And then start to open the eyes, and you can release the hands. And we'll start to take our first twist. So bring your right hand to the mat behind you to support you. And we're going to inhale, lift up and out of the waist. And on the exhale, come into the twist, bringing your left hand to the right knee. Continuing to breathe, allowing your gaze to come over the right shoulder. Keeping your sitting bones grounded. And you can adjust the legs here. If it's not comfortable to twist whilst in a cross-leg position, if you don't have blocks or props to support you, then you can adjust the legs, bring them out in front. On every inhale, lift and make space, and on the exhale, release into the twist. Slowly start to come out of the twist now, placing the left hand to the mat behind you. Inhale, lift the ribs away from the hips. Exhale, come into the twist, reaching the right hand to the left knee, allowing your gaze to follow. Coming in the direction of being over the left shoulder. Keep breathing here. Inhale, making space. Exhale, releasing. Noticing any feelings in the spine, in the side body, in the shoulders, the neck. being the observer of any sensations in the body. And slowly start to release from the twist when you're ready. And we'll start to come over from here into a tabletop position. So find your foundations first, so hips above the knees, taking anything you need under the knees to cushion them here if they're feeling sensitive. And we're going to come into thread the needle here, which I will demonstrate. But if you are particularly, have particularly hold a lot of tension in your neck, your shoulders, even this posterior chain of the body, so your glutes, your hamstrings, I want you to really listen to your body here. And if it does not feel right to come into thread the needle, then I suggest coming back to the seated position and working with your seated twist again and doing 5 breaths on each side. So bring your left hand away and thread it underneath your right arm. Take some softness through the right arm and guide the left side of your head to the mat and reach the right arm up to the sky, or keep it grounded. Maybe your right arm is coming round and finding the left thigh. But no worries if you're wondering how on earth the right hand could be getting there. Come to a position with the arms, the hands here that is going to work for you. And then when you're ready, come back to the breath, observing the breath. So another twist here through the spine. Really good for our spinal health as well. When you're ready, slowly start to unravel. So bringing the right hand back down to the mat, pressing through the right hand to support your body as you slowly unravel from the twist. And then come on to the other side, remembering that each side could feel quite different. So release the right hand away, thread it underneath, bend through the left arm, guide the right side of your head down to the mat, or you could bring a couple of cushions here to bring the mat further up to you, to give you more support. So remember, support yourself in your practice. Maybe this left hand's coming away and reaching towards the sky. Maybe you're working with bringing it around and it's finding your right thigh here. Wherever you are, reconnect back to the breath again. Remembering that what we're trying to achieve in our practice is releasing tension from the body. So if you feel like anything that you're doing is adding further tension and that does not feel right, then that could be a sign to take a different option. Maybe just bearing that thought in mind or asking yourself that question will sometimes be helpful. Slowly start to release the left hand, grounding it on the mat, supporting your body as you unravel from that thread the needle. And then we're going to sit the hips back towards the heels and melt the chest and the forehead down towards the mat, coming into your child's pose. And you always have the option to be in a wide leg child's pose, which would be bringing the knees away from each other and sitting back. For some of us, this could actually feel more comfortable than the narrow leg child's pose. Just take whichever option feels right for you. Close off your eyes for a moment here. Notice where you can feel the breath. Notice what's alive for you today. And then we're going to walk the hands over to the right, so staying low in your child's pose. Walk your hands as far over to the right as feels comfortable, coming to a place where you can feel the stretch and the opening through the left side body. Keeping low. Breathing here. Gently start to walk the hands back through to center and then over to the other side. This time feeling the stretch through the right side body. Slowly start to walk the hands back to center. Start to lift the hips away from the heels. Round through the hands and start to walk the feet in towards the hands. And we're in a forward fold position now. So take as much softness through the legs. Feet are roughly hip width apart and we're hanging down. And then we're going to float into some little twists from here. So if you've got a block here, a block or a prop, you could have it on either level, bringing the mat up closer to you. So depending on where you're at in your forward fold, if you're already really low down in your forward fold, then it should be fine for you to place the fingertips on the mat for this twist. If you're finding that you're slightly higher up, sort of here roughly, or higher up in your forward fold, then I would definitely suggest having some blocks or books here to support you. And what we're doing is we're going to take slightly more bend through the left leg, bring the left hand to a block or the mat, and reach the right arm up to the sky, twisting, sending the gaze up towards the right fingertips. Then coming onto the opposite side, so bringing the right hand to a block, softening a little bit more through the right leg, reach the left fingertips up to the sky, send the gaze towards the hand. And one more time on each side, reaching the right arm up. So probably feeling a deeper stretch through the hip as well here. And the other side. And release the left hand down. Soften through the knees, curl the body up with a rounded spine. Head and neck coming up last. Meeting into Tadasana Mountain Pose. Finding your foot foundation, grounding through the feet. Inhale, sweep the arms up to the sky, lift your ribs away from your hips. Exhale, hinge at the hips, come back to a forward fold. Soften the knees as much as you need to. Inhale, lift the chest and lengthen the spine, halfway lift. Exhale, bring the hands down to the mat and step the feet back, either meeting in a plank or drop the knees straight down. Pausing for a moment, checking in with your inner line of energy, strong through the core. Also the energy channels here, thinking about the chakras, perhaps thinking about your root lock, your mula bandha. Exhale, drop the knees down, lower the rest of your body down to the mat. Inhale, roll your shoulders, peel the chest away, cobra, switch the lower body on. Exhale, melt the chest back down to the floor. Pressing through the hands on the inhale, raise the body away from the mat, keep the elbows tucked in. Tuck the toes under, and on your exhale, send your hips to the sky for downward facing dog. Press them out away from you with your hands. And remember, you can come back to a child's pose at any time if you need to. Take a little pedal out through the feet. And then come into your stillness in your downward facing dog. And just check in with how you're feeling today in this position. If this is feeling enough for you right now, then stay here. If you feel like you would like to come into the next option, we're going to take a little twist in our downward facing dog, which is going to include some balance as well and strength. So we're going to be bringing the weight into the right hand and removing this left hand. And either it's coming to the right thigh and we're finding a twist and our gaze is coming under the right armpit. Maybe you can bring this left hand lower down the leg. Maybe it's coming to the ankle. We're getting this really deep twist here, but being really mindful of this right shoulder, this right arm. Anything that doesn't feel right, just come back to your downward facing dog without a twist. Or come into a child's pose at work there. Release the left hand. We come onto the other side. So bring the right hand away. Maybe it's finding the right thigh. Maybe it's coming lower down towards the ankle. Come into the twist. Sending your gaze under the right armpit, left armpit, sorry. Breathe here. And release. Well done. On your next inhale, step the feet in towards the hands. Lift the chest, lengthen the spine, halfway lift. Hands could be on the thighs here. It could be on the shins. Maybe they're on that. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, sweep the arms up to the sky. Row the spine tall. Exhale, hands to the heart center. From here, we're going to step the right foot back and come into a high lunge, or you could come into a warrior one if you prefer, but I would suggest actually high lunge today if you can. So this back leg doesn't have to be completely straight. You could drop the back right knee down if you prefer here. And I'll just pivot so that you can see me. Bringing your hands to heart center, to Anjali Mudra, so this prayer position. Inhale, lift up and out of the waist, and see if you can take a twist to the left, staying in your high lunge, and maybe this right elbow can come to the left thigh. And you're coming into a twist here low in your lunge. Again, remember you could drop this right knee down. I'll just demonstrate here to support your body. So you could be coming to the pose here. Listen to your body, listen to what it needs. Maybe if you want to come a little deeper, you can open the arms out here. This is quite a strong place to be. So taking the option that works for you. Bring the arms back in if you have them opened out, and see if with control you can release and step the foot in. Take a real release out through the legs. Well done. And we'll come onto the other side. So step the left foot back this time. Remember, you can drop this back knee. Checking in with a bit of foot foundations as well, and foundations of the pose. Just making sure that this front knee is roughly in line with the ankle. Hands into Anjali Mudra, prayer position. Inhale, lift up and out of the waist. On the exhale, come into the twist to the right, and then see how it feels to bring this right elbow to the outside of the left elbow, sorry, to the outside of the right thigh. Getting my lefts and rights a little bit mixed up today. And keep pressing the palms of the hands into each other, bringing the belly away from the thigh. Maybe you're opening out here. Wherever you are, breathing. And then with control, start to come out of the twist. And step that back foot back in. Release the legs. Well done. We're going to then either come up on your toes, or you can keep the feet grounded. Going to lower down to the mat. with control. So sitting those hips back, being into any shakes and wobbles with the legs, lowering the hips down to the mat, and release the hips down. And then we're going to come into half lord of the fish, which if you saw my anti-desk stretch last week, then I broke down this pose in there. So if after this video you're thinking, I have no idea if I was twisted up in the pose correctly, then I suggest have a look at that video. So for half lord of the fish, we'll start with lengthening the right leg out, flex the toes, and then bend in this left knee, and either have the sole of the foot on the inside of the right thigh, or see how it feels to step it over to the outside of the right thigh. We then want to bring the left hand behind us on the mat. Inhale, reach the right arm up. Exhale, twist over to the left. Maybe you're hugging this left knee. Maybe the elbow is coming to the outside of the left thigh as you come into a really deep twist here. Breathing here. If you're coming into the fullest expression of the pose, then you would also be bending this left leg in. If you're familiar with this position, then hopefully you've already come into that option. Perhaps give it a go. And we're getting this deep stretch through the hips, but also through the spine here. The next progression, of course, would be to take this right hand to the outside of the left foot and lengthen the left leg. And then you bring this left hand away and reach the left fingertips to the back of the room. However, this is just a progression that I'm offering for anybody who would like to take it. This is absolutely does not mean that you need to be here. You want to be in the option of the pose that's going to serve you most today. So not the most extreme option of the pose that you can possibly do. Some days that might serve you, but other days it might not. And release. And then we'll come onto the pose on the other side. So start off lengthening through the left leg, bending in the right knee, sole of the foot on the mat. Maybe you're working here. Maybe you can get this right foot over to the outside of the left thigh. Maybe you can then also bend this left leg in. Right hand comes to the mat behind you. Inhale, lift up and out of the waist. Exhale as you come into the twist. Maybe this left elbow is coming to the outside of the right thigh. Maybe you're hugging. Gaze follows, coming over the right shoulder. Inhale, lifting up and out of the waist. Exhale, releasing. Maybe the left hand's finding the right foot, and we're lengthening, bringing that right hand away, reaching to the wall behind you. That's just an option. And release, come out of the pose. Bring both legs forwards, flex the feet, engage the legs, find the length through the spine. Inhale, lift the ribs away from the hips. Exhale, come into a forward fold. Find your Paschimottanasana here. Inhale, make space. Exhale, release. Leading with the chest, keeping the length through the spine. Inhale, come up from the fold. And meet me back in a comfortable cross-leg position on your mat. Bring one hand back to the heart, one hand back to the belly. Or you can just drop your hands into your lap, whatever's most comfortable for you, and then either close your eyes or take a steady gaze. And start to relax all the muscles in your face again. Open and close the jaw a couple of times. Release any tension. Doesn't matter if you feel silly. I'm sure that you're at home and nobody's watching you. And then allow your neck and your shoulders to release and relax. Maybe you can feel your breath traveling to your belly. Observe any thoughts coming up. Observe how you're feeling, whether that's physically, mentally, emotionally, or otherwise. Accepting whatever is there. Being grateful that you've given yourself this time today. Opening the eyes back up, releasing the hands when you're ready. But as always, if you have more time to do a Lunge Shavasana, then I highly recommend it. One of the most important parts of yoga practice. Thank you so much for being here and practicing with me. I hope you enjoyed this flow. I actually have a longer, more extensive twist practice that I've released this week on my membership. And there's lots of other kind of more in detail alignment and breath work on there. So for anybody who's interested, the link is below. Do have a look, but as always, please subscribe to this channel and support the free kind of yoga resource on here, so I keep making more videos for you. And any suggestions or anything that you're struggling with, please do let me know, and I will do whatever I can to help. Thank you. See you soon. Bye-bye.